Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Insha'Allah, we will continue the topic of Nabr, and today we will discuss the third circumstance of Nabr. And this occurs when during our recitation we change over from a mad letter to the first letter of a shadda, which is a sakin letter. If you see in this example, you can see the mad letter alif is followed by a lam mushaddad, and in lam mushaddad with a kasra, the first lam is sakin and the second one has a kasra. And as we know, the sakin letters occur with the collision or tasadum of the two components of the makhraj. So when the mouth was busy in emitting the mad letter, which occurs with the vibration of the vocal cords, so then it is necessary at the change over from a mad letter to the sakin letter that occurs after it that we do nabr to facilitate this change over. Because the nabr at this point will make the presence of the sakin letter quite clear. If the collision or tasadum is weak, the letter is then pronounced with a weak sound to such a degree that it may not even be heard. So we have to make sure to do nabr, make the sound a little bit louder than the letter next to it when changing over from a mad letter to the first letter of the shadda to give both parts of shadda letter, the sakin part and the vowel part. So if you see in this example, this is how we will recite it by doing nabr. الضالين. And if I don't do proper nabr here, then instead of giving lam with a shadda where the first letter is sakin, I will only be reciting it with a kasra. Like this. الضالين. And this mistake of pronouncing only one lam is due to not making proper nabr. And we can see some more examples here. You can see mad letter is followed by a shadda letter. That is also a condition of maddul lazim by giving the mad 6 counts. And by doing nabr, we will recite this example like this. Safatin. And exactly like this, in this example, we can see mad letter alif is followed by letter qaf that has a shadda. We will give 6 counts to maddul lazim, and by doing nabr, we will recite this example like this. Al-haqqah. And one more thing we need to remember that is related to sifatul huruf. When changing over from a mad letter to a sakin letter, we need to see if the sakin letter is from shidda, bainiya, or rakhawa. So lam is a bainiya or tawassut letter. So the timing of the first sakin lam will be according to the bainiya letters. And here in this example, fa is a letter of rakhawa. So the timing of the sakin fa will be according to the rakhawa letters. And in this case, qaf is from shidda letters. So when changing over from a mad letter to a sakin letter qaf, the timing of that qaf will be according to the shidda letters. And you can check the video of how sakin and vowel letters occur to understand the concept of tasadum or collision of the two components of the makhraj. And for sifatul huruf, you can check the video of bainiya, shidda, and rakhawa for more details. Coming back to the third condition of nabr, when we change over from a mad letter to a shadda letter where the first letter is sakin, when the mouth is busy in giving the mad letter that occurs with the vibration of vocal cords, then it is important for us at the change over from the mad letter to a sakin letter to facilitate the change over with nabr. And exactly this ruling is applied to this exception of nabr that we have discussed in the first circumstance when we are choosing to stop on a qalqala letter that has a shadda. So this exception to the exception comes under the third circumstance of nabr because here the mad letter is followed by a shadda letter and we need to make an accent or raise our voice slightly at the end of the mad letter to make sure that we pronounce both parts of the shadda letter Because if we do not do Nabr here, in case of continuation, this word will sound like this. Yushaqi. And you can feel that the tasadum or the collision of the sakin letter qaf was either weak or missing. That's why the letter is pronounced with a weak sound to such a degree that it may not even be heard. So whether we choose to continue or stop on this word, we will do nabar. And in case of stopping, this is how we will stop. Yushaqo. And if I choose to continue, yushaqi. And exactly the same ruling applies here. If I do not recite it with nabar, the sound will be like this. Hadda, where the tasadum or collision is weak and the letter is pronounced with a weak sound. By applying the rule of nabar here, this is how we will recite this word in case of continuation. Hadda. And if we are choosing to stop, this is how we will stop by applying the rule of nabar. Had. In both cases, we will do nabar. And nabar will make sure that both letters in a shadda letter are pronounced clearly. But there is an exception to this condition, and that is if there is noon or mim mushaddad after the mad letter. In that case, we will give the timing of the most complete gunna to the letter, and that will substitute the nabar. Because we are already showing by giving most complete gunna to letter meme and noon when they come with shadda, then there is no need for nabar. Most complete gunna is enough to show that there is a shadda on the letter. Therefore, we will not do nabar in this condition. If you see in this example, alif mad is followed by a shadda letter meme, 6 counts, maddul lazim to alif mad, and most complete gunna to letter meme. And this is how we will recite this example.
الطامة.
And if you see in this example, whether we choose to continue or stop, 6 counts of maddul lazim, most complete gunna for letter noon, and this is how we will recite it.
جنة.
And let's suppose if we choose to stop on this word where noon mushaddad is the last letter, even in that case, we will leave the nabar and we will recite it by giving a long gunna upon stopping like this.
جان.
And the timing of gunna will be enough to show to the listener that we are reciting a shadda letter noon or a shadda letter meme. The fourth circumstance of Nabr in the recitation of the glorious Quran is when stopping by a sukoon on a word that has a hamza as the last letter preceded by a mad letter or a lean letter. We can see in this example, if we are choosing to stop on this word with a sukoon on letter hamza, the second last letter is a lean letter. And if you see in this example, if we choose to stop at the end of this word with a sukoon on letter hamza, the second last letter is a mad letter. If you come across words like these, where you are choosing to stop with a sukoon and the last letter is hamza, preceded by a mad letter or a lean letter, then we do nabar on letter hamza. We put a little pressure that will slightly elevate the voice of letter hamza upon stopping with a sukoon, because if we don't do nabar, there is a possibility that we'll take away the letter hamza while reciting the mad letter or the lean letter. And the listener will not be able to hear the letter hamza upon stopping. So first I will show you how to recite it properly with nabar. So in this example, if I choose to stop at letter hamza with the sukoon, this is how I will stop by doing nabar. Shay. But let's suppose if I don't do nabar while stopping at letter hamza, the sound of the word will be like this. Shay. And now while giving the lean letter, letter hamza is missing. And the listener is unable to listen to letter hamza. And this is what we need to avoid. And that is why we do nabar in a situation like this. If you see in the next example, if I'm choosing to stop at letter Hamza with the sukoon by doing Nabr, I will recite it like this. As-sama. And now you can hear letter Hamza clearly upon stopping. But if I do not do Nabr, this will take away letter Hamza from the recitation, and the listener will not be able to hear the letter Hamza when I'm choosing to stop. And the sound will be like this. As-sama, as if there is no Hamza at the end. And this is what we have to avoid. And to avoid this, we will do Nabr upon stopping at letter Hamza, which is coming after the mad letter or a lean letter. But one thing to remember is that follow the vowel upon continuation. At that time, we will not do Nabr. Let's suppose in this condition, letter Hamza has a kasratain, so we will follow the rules of tanween here, and we will not do Nabr on letter Hamza. And in this example, letter Hamza has a kasra. Upon continuation, we will follow the vowel, and at that time, there will be no Nabr. And the other thing that we need to remember, if letter Hamza has a fathatain, for example, in this case, you can see letter Hamza has a fathatain. So when stopping on a word where letter Hamza is the last letter with a fathatain, then we do not stop on letter Hamza with a sukoon. Instead, we stop with two counts of Maddul Iwad, so there will be no Nabr. So if we choose to stop on this example, we will stop like this. وَنِدَاءً, and there will be no Nabr in this case. Now we will discuss the fifth and the last circumstance of Nabr in the recitation of the glorious Quran. And this one only occurs in the three different words in the three specific locations in the Quran. These three words are all past tense verbs in the dual form. That means there are two subjects, and these words are formed with an alif mad. And this alif mad indicates that there are two subjects. But before we jump into the detail of this condition, let's try to understand the concept of alif mad when it comes in a word to indicate that there are two subjects. So qala is for one person. He said qala. When lam has an alif mad after it, this is for two persons. So qala, two persons said. So if you see in these examples, if I want to recite the first example, I will say قال الحمد لله. That means one person said Alhamdulillah. And if I look into the second example, which say قال Alhamdulillah, but upon continuation, I will recite it like this. قال الحمد لله. So the meaning is two persons said Alhamdulillah. But when I recite both of them, they sound exactly similar, like this. قال الحمد لله, قال الحمد لله. Although there is a difference in the meaning, but upon recitation, they sound exactly the same. And this is because of the rule of ittaqa as-sakinain. When two sakin letters meet, we cancel the mad. For example, if you see here, upon continuation, we recite it like this. Fil ardi. We do not say fil ardi. We do not stretch this letter ya mad. Rather, we cancel letter mad because of ittaqa is-sakinain, meeting of two sakin letters. And even in this example, we say wa amma alladhina. We do not say wa amma ladhina because of the rule of ittaqa is sakinain. So whenever two sakin letters meet, we cancel the mad. And you can check the video of ittaqa is sakinain, meeting of two sakin letters, for more detail of this topic. But at this point, we need to remember that when two sakin letters meet, we cancel the mad. And this is exactly why both of these statements sound exactly the same. We do not find any difference when we hear them, but when we look at them, statement number one starts with qala and the statement number two starts with qala. And there is a huge difference in the meaning. And that's exactly what we are going to address in this condition of Nabr. This only occurs in the three different words in three specific locations in the Quran. These three words are all past tense verb in the dual form. That means there are two subjects that are formed with an alif mad, and this alif mad indicates that there are two subjects. When we recite these words in continuation with the following word, the first letter of the following word is a sakin letter. So, due to the rule of meeting of two sakin letters or ittaqa is sakinain, we drop alif mad. And that's why we need to do Nabr here, because Nabr on these three places is an indication that there is an alif indicating two subjects, which is dropped in pronunciation due to the Arabic rule of ittaqa is sakinain. Because without Nabr, the listener may think that the verb is just one male singular instead of two. Nabr is needed here, so we do not change the meaning. And these three words are in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number 22, ذَاقَ الشَّجَرَةَ. So you can see alif mad here, followed by a sakin letter. So when we recite this word in continuation with the following word, in that case, due to ittaqa is sakinain, we are cancelling alif mad. We will do Nabr here so that the meaning of the verse is not confused. And this is how we will recite it. ذَاقَ الشَّجَرَةَ. And in the next example, which is in Surah to Yusuf, ayah number 25, upon continuation, due to ittaqa is sakinain, we will cancel the mad, but we need to do Nabr so the meaning is not confused. And this is how we will recite it. وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابَ. In the next example, again upon continuation, we can see alif mad is followed by a sakin letter. Due to ittaqa is sakinain, we will cancel the mad, but we will do Nabr so the meaning is not confused. And this is how we will recite it.
وقال الحمد لله.
And there you can see ayah number 22 of Surah Al-A'raf, that ذَاقَ means they both tasted. Ash-shajarata, the tree. They both tasted from the tree. So if I only say the shajarata, I will change the meaning from they both to one person. And this is what I have to avoid by doing Nabr here. Like this, the shajarata in Surah to Yusuf, ayah number 25, you can see wastabaqa, and they both raced al-baba, to the door. If I don't do Nabr here, there is a possibility that I will change the meaning. So the Nabr will make sure that the meaning is not confused. By doing Nabr, this is how I will recite it. وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابَ. And Nabr will make sure that there are two subjects and the meaning is not confused. And just like that, in Surah Namal, ayah number 15, I can see وَقَالَ, and they said Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah. And by doing Nabr, this is how I will recite it. وَقَالَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ. And Nabr is an indication that there is an alif indicating two subjects, which is dropped in pronunciation due to ittaqa is sakinain. But remember that Nabr is only used when reciting these words in continuation with the next word. When stopping on the words, the alif indicating a double is then pronounced because there is no longer the meeting of two sakin letters. So there is no need of Nabr since the reason is disappeared. So upon continuation, we will do Nabr, but upon stopping, we will stop like this. وَقَالَ وَاسْتَبَقَا سَاقَا. So Nabr is only required when we are reciting these words in continuation with the next word. But upon stopping, we do not need to do Nabr. But we also need to remember not every alif mad in ittaqa is sakinain is read with Nabr. And I choose this one example in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 36, where the word is فَأَزَلَّهُمَا, then made both of them slip. So now here we can see alif mad is followed by a sakin letter. And of course, we have to do ittaqa is sakinain here. But the question can come into our mind that why we are not doing nabr here. So the reason is when you join these two words together, the meaning is not confused. We will recite them like this. فَأَزَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ. And now, upon joining, meme is enough to show that we are talking about two persons, not one. So, upon continuation, when we are applying the rule of ittaqa is sakinain, we do not need to do nabr here. And of course, upon stopping on the first word, we will recite it like this. فَأَزَلَّهُمَا. So the fifth condition of Nabar is only required in three different words in the specific location in the Quran. In Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number 22, ذَاقَ الشَّجَرَةَ. In Surah Yusuf, ayah number 25, وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابَ. And Surah Namal, ayah number 15, وَقَالَ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ. And these are the only three places where we need to apply the fifth condition of Nabr. Alhamdulillah, this topic is complete. I hope this is clear to you. Jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.